everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Bianca. I am a wife and a mother of three. I am a stay-at-home mom actually, so you might see some kids in the background just to warn you. This is my little helper, Samuel. Want to come say hi? Hi. He's a little bit shy, so you might see him in the background running around. And just to warn you. But today I'm so glad you guys are able to join us, especially for my moms out there, because I want to be able to share with you guys some tips and tricks on how to use essential oils on your kiddos, and hopefully it is something that you are able to learn from and able to apply it to your kids, and just kind of learn and whatever fits their needs, because every kid's needs are different. So whatever works for me may not work for you, but I'm hoping that you are able to learn as much as you can from this video. So we'll go ahead and get started. First things I want to talk about today is diluting your essential oils, and that is very important when it comes to kids, because their skin is so sensitive. So you also want to be very careful. doTerra essential oils are very safe, but when it comes to kids, you want to make sure that you are being extra safe and properly using the essential oils. This is a fractionated coconut oil that I use, if you can see right here. And I actually have a few bottles of these around the house. I have some in my room, I have some in the diaper bag, and I have some in the car, one in the car. And I always make sure I have some in hand, just because you never know when you might need it. One of the samples I want to give you of how I use fractionated coconut oil. If I want to directly apply an essential oil to my kid, for example, Breathe is our respiratory blend. So for example, if my kid is having some respiratory issues, upper respiratory issues, what I do is I apply 1 drop of fractionated coconut oil on my hand. Of Breathe, and then I add about 5 to 10 drops of fractionated coconut oil on there, and I rub it, and then I just gently rub it on their chest, on the back of their chest, or if it's a different oil, then wherever the oil goes. So for example, Serenity, I apply that one to their feet, same thing, about 1 to 2 drops of essential oil on my hand, and then the rest of fractionated coconut oil. But you also want to make sure you're very careful. It depends on the age also. For example, I have a 1-year-old and I have an almost 6-year-old. So the amount of essential oils that I would use on my 6-year-old, I would not use on my 1-year-old. So later I will post a chart at the bottom of the post, and you are able to see kind of how much you use of each, and just kind of gives you an idea. So you also just want to make sure you're very careful with that. And sensitive skin, kids have very sensitive skin. Some adults do too, but you just want to make sure that you are being very careful and extra careful when it comes to the little ones. Another thing I want to talk about is this awesome little beauty right here. This is actually one of our diffusers from our holiday line. It's sold out now, but I was able to grab one of these, and my kids love it. It has lights, and it also plays lullabies. You can switch up the volume and the light and change the color of the light. But the reason why I want to show you guys, and not just this diffuser, but any diffusers, diffusers are huge when it comes to my kids, because I use this every single night in their room, diffusing essential oils, and I switch it up. So sometimes I do. You want to hold it for me?
Yeah.
He's going to be my little... Oh, you can't see him. Maybe if I switch. He's my little helper. So with the diffuser, what I do is I switch it up depending on their need. I always use Serenity every single night. Like I said, that is our restful blend, so I use that for sleep. But depending on what they need that night, so for example, if they're having some respiratory issues, I also add a few drops of Breathe. Or I just switch it up a little bit. If they had a long day and it's just, if my daughter's just had a rough day, I also add a little bit of balance. So depending on what I believe works best for them for that day, I do it in the diffuser. And not just at night, I also do it during the day. If I know that my daughter has a sickness going on, or she's starting to get sick, or she's been around too many kids that have been sick, I will diffuse some On Guard, which is our protective blend, and I would add some lemon or something to help with that immunity support. So it is one of the great ways I love to use this diffuser, and it's super easy. A lot of the diffusers are still the same. So you just open it, pour some water, and pour some drops in. For the kids, I usually do about 2 to 3 drops of essential oil, and that's just it, really. And it works amazing for my kids. My kids love it, so I always have to tell them not to touch this, because they're always trying to play with it, because it's just so cute. Another way I use essential oils is in the bathtub. So when it's bath time, I like to try to keep my kids in the same bedtime routine, just so they get used to it. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, but I try my best as a mom. So for a bedtime routine, bath time is one of them, and we add essential oils to the bathtub. Same thing, depending on whatever their needs are for that day. if it's just so they could get a good night's sleep, Serenity is my favorite. Just for, same thing with the diffuser, just if they're having respiratory problems, I also put Breathe in the bath. So whatever works best for kids, but this is amazing to be able to put some essential oils in your kids' bath to help them, just have a restful night's sleep. And that's something that a lot of moms ask me is, how do I get my kids to sleep throughout the night? Or how do I get my kids to stay sleeping throughout the night? And one thing I really recommend is a diffuser and just a proper bedtime routine. So the, bath time, the diffusing, and also another thing I will quickly bring up is blends. There is some blends that doTERRA actually already sell pre-diluted, but there's also blends you can already make. And this one I made myself. It's about 5 drops of each, and it has Serenity, which is our restful blend. It has Balance, which was our grounding blend, and then it has Lavender, which is just very calming. And I made this blend myself, and I actually filled it up with fractionated coconut oil, and it is a roll-on bottle. So all I do is rub it on the bottom of my kids' feet, and I rub their feet together, and then I put some socks on them, and then they just go to sleep like that, and they're relaxed, they're sleeping, and they usually sleep. I love the smell too, and they usually just sleep throughout the night. So that is just a great tip to give you guys for how to get your kids to have that restful night's sleep that they really need, especially for those kiddos who are in school, and you want to make sure that they are paying attention and alert the next day and just in a great mood. So that is just another great tip. Another tip I wanted to give you guys was my room spray that I use on the kiddos. This one actually has lavender, juniper berry, and cedarwood. And actually, during my research, because I learned a lot of stuff on my own, doing research with this amazing book that I will talk about here in a little bit. But doing research, I learned that juniper berry is a great one for nightmares, which is something that my son struggles with. He will wake up in the middle of the night just, saying that he's scared. So, essential oils on the bottom of their feet, I'll do that. And then this is another spray that I use, and it's super easy. I just spray it on their bed, and it smells really good. You can smell the lavender and the cedarwood and the juniper berry. And I believe I did 10 drops of each, and then the rest of water. And it was super easy to make. And it helps with the rest of the, we call it our monster spray, so it helps them sleep, and it's very calming, and it's just another thing that I use on my kids, and it is amazing. So those are just a few tips that I wanted to share with you guys, and one thing I wanted to talk about real quick, looking at my notes, make sure I don't forget anything. This is where I learned a lot of my information from. This is where I do some research. I have this amazing book that I got when I first enrolled with doTERRA through my upline Sabrina. And what I do is I just go to the, the children's section, if I can find it real quick. Hopefully. Bingo. There's a children's section right here, and I just look through it, and I look for whatever my kids are struggling with. So for example, fever. There's a fever section right there, and it tells me what essential oils to use, and I just go off of that and just go with that. And this book has so much information, and I've kind of just self-educated myself, and also through my upline. They're always one text away if I ever need them to learn. So a lot of these things that I've learned has begun because of this book and because of asking questions. So don't be scared to ask questions. And kind of just learn as you go. I'm still learning as a mom. We all know that we're not perfect, so I'm still learning what works best for my kids, and what works best for my kids may not work for your kids. So you will find what works best for your kids and what their needs are. So I just wanted to take a time to share with you guys a little bit about what essential oils work best for my kids. And there's so many. I was really having a hard time figuring out what topic I wanted to share with you guys, and what oils I wanted to show you guys and stuff. But I just use them so much, and I just use them for so many reasons, and the reasons that I use them may not be the reasons that you will use them. So I'm hoping that you are able to still learn from these tips. This monster spray is amazing. I probably should spray it on my bed too, so I can get that restful night's sleep. But sorry, I want to make sure I don't run out of time. Okay. But yes, so just some great information for you guys, just a little quick tips that I wanted to share with you guys. Mamas out there, if you're interested in starting essential oils, make sure that you have this in hand, because it's just very important to make sure you dilute your essential oils, like I said earlier. So but there's that, so make sure you always have that. And I'm so glad you guys were able to join us today, and I'm hoping that you guys are able to learn so much from these classes, and that you guys are able to take something from it. So thank you so much for joining us, and if you guys have any questions, just please comment at the bottom. I'll respond as soon as I can, and also I will post that chart of how I dilute my oils, and just hope you guys are able to learn from that. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.